Welcome to Tamara Tattletales. I'm Tamara, and I spill the tea on your favorite reality stars. So, Married at First Sight Season 12, Chris is back at it again. This time, he and Mercedes went at it on Instagram regarding her pregnancy. Now, because this is Chris we are talking about, the posts are all over the place and took some piecing together. As I was reading them, though, right off the bat, I saw discrepancies in what he's claiming now versus what he said in the past. Therefore, what I did is I dug up some of his previous posts so you can see it for yourself. I hope that me combining current versus past isn't confusing. I'll do my best to distinguish between the two time periods. I'm not gonna lie, I was never fully on board with the accusation that Mercedes was lying about being pregnant. I don't believe she should be judged by the actions of her boyfriend, like guilty by association. I do believe, however, that she is definitely guilty of having bad taste in men. Anyway, I actually believe her more now because I can see how much he's lying and that he's projecting through his posts. Let's dive in. So it started with this post. I recently found out disturbing news again. Mercedes lied about her pregnancy to me, all to get back at me. It was probably the most breaking news in the history of the show and maybe in all of reality TV for 2021. When I initially told her that I was married, she told me that she was pregnant. I did not believe it. I immediately called Pastor Dwight. He didn't believe it given the method used. Because I wanted to be sure, I asked for proof in the form of a pregnancy test. She took the test on video, and I had no clue that the test she used was a dummy test that shows positive whether or not urine, water, or soda is poured on the stick. The only reason I would have ever said something like that as it pertains to her pregnancy is if I was sure and I wasn't. I never doubted it after that until recently. She also led me to believe that she had a miscarriage prior to decision day, which ripped me. Becoming a father was something I look forward to. I was so anxious for it that I took a $2 million life insurance policies out of myself. I purchased her car, which she still has to this day. I spent over $10,000 making sure she would be comfortable as the new mother of my first and only child, but my expectation didn't matter. I expected and waited on something that never existed. The day she went to the hospital for the alleged miscarriage, I waited to get there. By the time I was walking, she, not the doctor, told me that she had a miscarriage. I never asked the doctor because the nurse was discharging her. The only thing I saw on paper was not a miscarriage but high blood pressure. Not only this, but in speaking with other exes, this was not the first time she had done this. She strategically will claim pregnant until she gets you to where she can control you. This is not something to lie to me or anyone else about. I'm sick, hurt, and embarrassed. Hashtag liar. Okay, there's so much to unpack in just this post alone. He says, when I initially told her that I was married, she told me that she was pregnant. Now, he's insinuating that her response to him saying that he's married was, I'm pregnant. But let's take a look at some screen grabs from the season during the episode where Mercedes met Paige. Now, Paige asked Mercedes, I bet you were like, how was your feelings when you found out he was getting married? Mercedes said, no, I found out after I told him I was pregnant. Now, look at Chris's face. He's completely unfazed by her statement. The reason I point this out is because he's making it seem as though she claimed to be pregnant to retaliate against him for getting married. However, she didn't even know he was married when she broke the news that she was pregnant. He says, I purchased her a car, which she still has to this day. So let's take a look at Mercedes' post of October 24th, 2020, announcing this new car that he claims to have purchased. She says, for those who don't know, I got my first foreign recently, 2020 edition. If you know me, you know I haven't driven in years, almost like never, so keep the jokes. If you have life insurance, you're good in my car. My driving anxiety is bad, so I've never driven, but thanks to my family, friends, and God, I'm overcoming that. Also, shout out to Chris Williams for the part he played. Thank you. To me, this doesn't read as someone who was just gifted a brand new Mercedes Benz that was completely paid for. Keep in mind that Chris was or is a finance manager. I suspect he helped her to get the car by perhaps giving her a down payment and negotiating the terms of the loan. I could be wrong, but that's always been my suspicion. Moving on. We were together during filming. Everyone knew that. I felt the need to go back to her because she told me she was pregnant. A lot of stuff that I did was influenced by her. I didn't move into the house because of her. She had leverage over me. She told me in order to be back with her, I would have to tell the lady on camera that I was still in love with her. At the time, I didn't think nothing of it, but looking back at it, it was wrong. So he's claiming that Mercedes influenced him and he didn't move into the apartment because of her. She had leverage over him. But later in this flurry of posts, he shares this text message that he sent to Pastor Dwight. I love you, bro, a lot, and I appreciate your support, but I ask that you respect my decision. I do not like Paige. Paige is an amazing woman of God, and she loves the Lord, but I am not into her. I am not attracted to her. We didn't have a relationship off the camera, and the only we spoke was really on camera. I love Mercedes and am in love with her. She nor I are perfect, but that's what counseling is for. I do plan on being back with Mercedes. I let the producers, Paige, and the experts know that. Now, this is a personal message he sent to his friend. There is nothing about this text that sounds like Mercedes has influenced him to make any of the decisions he made. He starts it off by saying, I hope you respect my decision. Okay, moving on. I wouldn't have posted this if I wasn't ready for war with receipts. I can show why I ended up on the show. You and I know the truth. You be blessed. So Mercedes broke her silence and she rarely responds to Chris's allegations. I never put my business out here and wasn't going to entertain this, but my character is on the line and I will not let a mentally ill, hurt man ever try to bring me down. This man is a liar and mental. He is upset because I threatened a restraining order yesterday after he just got caught lying again and knew it was no coming back with me after this, and he would rather try to embarrass me than have me move on to another guy. But this is a whole new low. You could have just moved on in peace. The fact you sat in the hospital with me during our miscarriage and cried, but now you're so upset you got caught lying to me and I'm finally done that you take it to this far? I have tons of receipts, texts, doctor's notes, etc., but I'll let God handle this, and I pray for this man's mental health. And then in another post, she produces this text message from a woman. So I don't know what he has told you, but as far as I know, Chris has basically told me that you guys have been over since May. We met at a wedding in May. He pursued me via our mutual friend, started talking mid-June, supposedly became exclusive in July. He says that you guys were friends initially, but currently do not speak. He says that y'all met up to exchange car paperwork about a month ago, and that was that. And so Mercedes captions this, I won't put this other woman out because she has nothing to do with it, but this is what triggered. This man knew this was a wrap after I found this out last night. Chris just puts this out here. I went on the show to get back at Mercedes for cheating on me with another man during our engagement. He's claiming that she cheated on him, but in this post that I just read to you where he says, she told me in order to be back with her, I would have to tell the lady on camera that I was still in love with her. Now, if she's a cheater and he broke it off with her, why is he the one who has to jump through these hoops to mend the relationship? I don't know if this is Mercedes' friend or her sister friend, but she created this post on her own Instagram and said, I don't even do social media shit, but I'm so shocked and appalled and disgusted. After you begged her to marry you, then cheated on her, she finally wanted to rid herself of you, and you get mad she's done, so you decide to take lies to social media because that's the only place you feel relevant? My sister is a real person with a real life. You the one trying to stay relevant for a deal on whatever sorry-ass reality show will take you. Tomorrow you'll still be a nobody, just like you are now. You showed the world your character. Beware of these sorry-ass Negroes, ladies. When we had the meetup, we agreed privately for the cameras to say that she would say she had no intentions of working things out. When we finished filming, Paige laughed because she thought Mercedes was dissing me, when in reality, I didn't want Mercedes to look bad by saying we were still together. I knew America would destroy her. Little did Paige know Mercedes was already living with me. Okay, so he went on the show to humiliate Mercedes for cheating on him, but at the same time, he was concerned about her looking bad, so he fell on the sword for her. Moving on. America's messiest reality TV storyline of the year was a hoax. I was fooled. So Chris posts this message from Mercedes from just October 5th of this year. You literally was not sure if you wanted to go through with marrying Paige on that Monday because of the news you had just found out. And I begged you not to go to the court to get married, and you did it anyway. You can say you were forced under contract, but you didn't care about a contract. You did it because you wanted to do it. So to do me like that makes me feel the most hurt I've ever felt. You went right to the courthouse and made the decision to marry a complete stranger right away, but put me off. I'm broken. Then Chris posts this marriage license. I'm not sure what he's trying to prove with it, other than the fact that he and Mercedes went to the courthouse on October 5th to apply for it. And then Chris posts, the whole thing is, I was never in a doctor's appointment. I dropped her off, but she never wanted me to go in. However, in this post from October 2020, Chris says, on October 28th, 2020, we rushed her to the hospital. Because I wasn't the husband, I couldn't go to the room due to COVID. But after a time, I managed to get to the back. When I got there, I was met with cold silence. I found out that she had a miscarriage. Not the same as just dropping her off and never going in. I was there when she was discharged. I cried when she told me, but they had already given her discharge papers. Oh, you mean these discharge papers that you posted on October of 2020? I think he's trying to say, I don't know why she would lie to me about being a fool, thinking she was really preggo. And then in late 2020 or early 2021, Chris writes this. So I could care less about y'all. You can't make up virtual documents and medical records on my charts, people. I have not been to a doctor's appointment nor seen official pregnancy docs. I am man enough to admit when I am wrong. If she can show on my chart an ultrasound, a pregnancy confirmation, I will admit that I was wrong and remove all of my posts. I am going off of stuff that she told me, whether it was out of spite or what. Post the screenshots from my chart for your pregnancy with your name and date on it. The fact that I'm asking for it after over a year of finding out I had a baby on the way and a lot of shit was withheld from me, post your confirmation. So again, referring back to his post from October 2020, he writes this. Not that an explanation is owed, but we do have my chart documents that detail the day the pregnancy results came back from the doctor on August 31st, 2020, and all the paperwork regarding the miscarriage on October 28th, 2020. But as part of the argument, Mercedes opened up her My Chart app and showed her proof of her doctor's visit on October 28th of 2020, which is the date that he said she miscarried. And then she also posts this. Please pray for him. Seriously, I honestly don't wish anything bad on someone because mental health is real and should be taken serious. Chris says she knew our filming schedule because we talked about filming in person together every night before bed. I don't know if it's a coincidence that the miscarriage happened 2 days before decision day. Mercedes creates this post and she's referring to Chris's publicist, Malin. God bless the Malin Mabley for her life. What she said was spot on. She has never met me in person and does not owe me anything, but she was Chris's friend and has known and worked with Chris as his publicist for Subway and the show. But wrong is wrong, and real people aren't going to stand around and watch someone totally make up lies. She knows everything and she can only disclose so much, but for someone to be this spiteful is very alarming and hurtful. God bless him. To which Chris replies, Mercedes, you do realize I have text messages where you told me not to use her because she was not a real publicist, and now it's your best friend? I got all day. Come on, Malin, cut it out. You know the truth. You only knew what I knew at the time. You were upset due to other things, not that. I paid you thousands and you did nothing. Mercedes did not want me to use you. I even tried to convince her to use you and she said no. Because, and then Chris says, my real life is a record-breaking reality show. Ratings are through the roof. I take this stuff I posted serious. I don't know what ratings he's talking about because he's just on Instagram and Facebook. Then he posts this picture of he and Paige and this whack apology. I owe you an apology. You were a jewel and I never fully respected you as the woman of God whom you are. There are a lot of things you did and said that I still don't agree with and that I feel like was deceitful, but there is a lot that I feel you handled with class and grace. I am sorry that you were put in the middle of this. I am sorry that your experience was everything short of amazing. This post is not about getting back with you, but rather about giving you the respect you deserve. The news of the baby is why I didn't move in the house. It's why I didn't give the marriage a fair chance off camera. Again, I disagree with a lot that was done, but I wanted to acknowledge you publicly with an apology. I am sorry. You are indeed beautiful. I am sorry that I ever even questioned it. In this horrible apology, he is blaming the baby for why he never moved in the house and all the decisions he made. But I refer you back to this text message that he posted during the same flurry where he tells Pastor Dwight, I do not like Paige. Paige is an amazing woman of God and she loves the Lord, but I am not into her. I am not attracted to her. We didn't have a relationship off the camera and the only we spoke was really on camera. I love Mercedes. Then finally, Chris ends this madness with this post. At the end of the day, I should have kept that internal and private and handled it accordingly. I was wrong in the way I handled the situation. I know better than that, and I met Paige the day we married. Was with Mercedes on and off for 2 years. I deeply apologize for going public with our private issues. Ooh, this was a lot. So there you have it. This all took place in one day. I put the information out here for you. It's up to you to decide who's lying and who's telling the truth.